Hey, we're the Property Brothers, and we've been helping people find their dream homes for over 25 years.
And we are going to answer your property ownership questions that you asked AD on Instagram. Right here.
What three things do I have to read them all together?
It's what twins do. See what we did there?
What?
You're thinking of a
Donut.
Sandwich.
Oh, okay. What three things do I need before I decide I'm ready to buy a home?
Money.
Yeah. Good lawyer.
Yeah.
Good looking contractor. No.
Financing. You need to be organized.
For qualifying, you want to make sure you're pre-approved and you're qualified on the financial side.
And you really need to sit down and think about what is important for you. Don't get a house that only solves right now. Get a house that will also work for you in 5 or 10 years.
I remember when we bought our first house, we were 18. We were just going into college and we had no money. We had $200 and we found a creative way to finance the home and get into it by assuming someone's mortgage. So we basically got our first house for $200, had a bunch of tenants paying us rent, and then we were making $650. Yeah, I think it was $650 a month.
And it actually provided us the revenue that we needed to buy our next home. And then we just continued flipping houses and got kind of good at it. When does it actually make more financial sense to rent versus buy? There's no sense in kidding yourself. If you can't afford to buy right now, then it's not the time to buy. A lot of people are actually partnering up with a sibling or a friend or somebody to get into a home for the first time because that's the only way that they can do it. And it's totally fine. In fact, once you get into the real estate game, it's easier to progress in it. They do say, though, that the next generation will be the very first generation who cannot afford to buy a home on their own. So that's unfortunate, and that's because there's a massive lack of housing.
Especially with the affordability crisis and the housing crisis right now, a lot of people are really weighing, does it make the most sense to buy a home or should I rent? And what is my lifestyle? Do I want to spend all my money on a mortgage or do I want to save it in money and travel or spend it in other ways with my family? The steps for me would be sit down, find a fancy little journal or notepad and write down all of your must-haves in your lifestyle, not just the house must-haves, but what do you need in life? What does your family need? And then what are you looking for in a home? And that can help you break down whether it makes more sense to buy or rent. Are there still affordable places to buy houses in America? Define affordable.
If you're looking in an area that's the hot area, you're likely already overpaying. So look for the areas that are up and coming.
It is really hard. If you're in any of the major cities, it's super expensive. You know, even in LA, if you were to go a couple hours outside of LA, you can find some decently affordable, but it doesn't necessarily work with your lifestyle. I couldn't live 2 hours outside of LA and commute into LA every day for work. That would be terrible. I have an investment portfolio out in North Carolina, and one of the reasons too is we're trying to create beautiful, affordable homes for families, and out there is actually a better price point for people to be able to afford. So,
what are the stages of buying a home or property? How about a little 101 on the home buying process? So you decided that you want to have your home, you've got all your finances together, you've spoken with your bank, you have your down payment, you find the right house. And you want to be working with a real estate professional who is representing your needs. The thing is, the listing agent is representing the seller. I believe in having separate parties represented by separate people.
Yeah, you want somebody with your best interests in mind. So your real estate agent will help you shop the market. Hopefully they're really good at what they do, like I am. And you'll get a great property. You're gonna get that offer in. It's gonna be accepted because you make a reasonable offer and you don't try and lowball for no reason. And then your money's gonna go into escrow. You do your inspections. Hopefully if everything goes well and you don't have any big changes, or even if you do, then you close on the property and you move in. And depending on whether you wanted a renovation or not, that's the next bundle of joy. Is it true that you need enough money for a 20% down payment to purchase a home?
This constantly changes as things tighten up and then things loosen up. No, you can actually still purchase a house with less than 20%. Just realize the more money you put down, the more confident the bank is going to be. So generally a better lending rate you will get. But speak to your financial advisor, speak to your mortgage broker, speak to somebody who can give you the options because they want your business. So you ask all the questions you want and figure out what the best product is for you.
I also think it's important too, when you're putting together your budget for your home, look at everything outside of just the mortgage, right? You got to look at your taxes. You need to look at your utilities. A lot of houses are getting rid of gas. Even in California, you can't put gas in new homes, but that can really boost up your electrical. So you got to make sure you know all your costs before you get into a home. It's like the next question, how do you know if a home is a money pit? Well,
when you're walking through your property, anything that feels a little off, should concern you. And so write those things down, take pictures, ask questions, do follow-ups. We also call it the ick factor.
Use all your senses. Look at the space, what looks like a little off. Even if you see the switch plates for your light switch is a little crooked or a vent is a little crooked, the more things like that you see that are a little off, it means they don't have the attention to detail that they should have, and there are probably bigger issues inside the walls.
Use your nose.
Yes.
If you smell something musty, or if something smells rank, that could mean that there is a plumbing issue, a mold issue, any number of issues. If it's a home that has really complex electrical, you might want to even bring in an electrician to do an inspection on the electrical. Keep in mind, if you just hire someone to do a home inspection, a lot of times the home inspectors don't have years and years of experience, so they're just going off a list of things that they should be looking at. It doesn't mean if they don't find something that there isn't a problem. There could be something inside the walls that they didn't see.
Also keep in mind, just because you buy a fully renovated place or a brand new place doesn't mean that it's any better than an older property. A lot of new buildings have more issues than old buildings. You have to make sure you have them properly inspected.
Are you saying that flippers would cover up a problem?
What?
Yeah, they do all the time.
Yeah,
so be cautious.
It's sad.
What types of property will bring back the most ROI for an investor? I have always found that a fixer-upper ends up putting more equity back in our pockets, because you're either paying somebody else to do all the work, and then that person wants their appreciation on the work that they did for their equity, or if you find a place that you can put your own
sweat equity into.
Yeah, exactly. We did find, though, there was this balance in a lot of properties. As soon as you started having to do major structural work or major hill work, things like that, it was a lot more money up front and your margins started to diminish. So we always tried to find a house that architecturally was really, really great, but just super dated.
Yeah.
And that was a lot easier to fix up.
How do I find and vet a good general contractor?
So many good things. I always have a couple of rules. One, make sure that your contractor has lots of professional affiliations, Better Business Bureau, registered with National Home Warranty programs, things like that. Also, make sure it's not somebody who changes their number every 2 weeks. Shady. And the other big thing too is, because you're getting someone who's setting themselves up like a professional, you want to make sure that they're also giving you professional documentation on everything. Quotes in advance before you decide to go with them.
You shouldn't be writing big checks to them if they're not bonded. You want to make sure they're a reputable contractor. Also keep in mind, people are like, I want to save that 10%. I don't need a general contractor. But I have 2 kids. I can't imagine a full-time job, plus taking care of the kids, plus trying to oversee a big construction project. That is way too stressful. Most renovations are the biggest friction point for couples, so bring someone in to oversee it. Nothing is worse than living in a renovation, especially if you have kids.
I just thought of something worse than living in your renovation. Living in your renovation with your identical twin brother.
Oh,
we did it for years.
I thought I was brilliant. I cook breakfast every morning. I give him my protein shakes every morning. He didn't like them.
I'm not very handy at all, but how do you build your home improvement skills? I wish more people would ask this question. I love this question because so many of the families we work with today have no clue how to maintain their home, how to do it. They have to hire someone for everything. And is it just you and me, or every time you hire a plumber or an electrician, it's $1,000?
No matter what the project is.
So yes, it's important. I would say there are a ton of amazing books that you can get, sort of how-to guides on how to tackle all of the basics. Again, a lot of great videos from professionals online. Think about your own home right now and the stuff that you need, and start knocking that off your list. Learn these projects one at a time.
We started renovating houses when we were kids because our dad was very handy, and he would have us, we built the family house, we built the barns, we finished the basement in one of the houses. So get your kids started young. Parker already is my handyman. He'll hold my tools or something when I'm doing something.
They're already not paying rent. Make them work for it. Do it.
The only hard part is, he's 3 years old now, but when he was 2, he would help me a little bit. And then Linda would be like, Parker learned a new word today that I've never heard before and he probably shouldn't be using. And my trucker mouth comes out a little bit sometimes when I'm like missing the nail with the hammer. And yeah, sorry, Parker.
I wouldn't know. I'm an angel and I've never used nor heard these words.
Never cursed in your life? We're taking over the family farm. Any advice on preserving structures and memories while renovating for our own needs? This is something that Jonathan and I are very, very particular about, because when you have an old home, even both of us live in century-old homes, there's a lot of character and charm of that era of the home. You don't want to lose that and just make it some modern renovation. That doesn't make sense. So capturing the essence or breathing new life into that while bringing modern functionality, that's a really key thing.
There are a lot of properties where you're actually devaluing the property if you get rid of the character that makes that place so special. So make sure you understand the property that you're living in, what's expected of that property on the market by people, and your real estate professional can help with that. And then also just make sure whatever you do is gonna add not only a beautiful aesthetic, but lasting value. There are some things people do, like if you paint brick the wrong way, you can actually erode the brick underneath and cause a structural issue on the exterior of your home. So
yeah, and one thing, so for a family farm too, keep in mind a lot of old ranch or farm properties, like we grew up on a ranch, it was a lot of wood products everywhere, but nowadays they're composite materials that look just like wood that will last way longer. There's innovation in the home space that can really help you stretch a budget and stretch the life expectancy of those products.
how do you get rid of that subtle old house smell?
You asked Jonathan to leave the room. Moving on, next
true.
question. Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Depends what is causing the smell. So be aware that smells are generally trapped in soft surfaces. So if there are draperies, if there's carpet, anything like that, the materials, upholstered goods, that's usually what will hold on to the smell. So whether somebody was a smoker, if it's cooking smells, or if it's musty mold smells, that's where you'll find them. The other thing too is in old houses, they never used to seal under the slabs of the home. Concrete is very porous, and so the smells from underneath, that damp, dank smell, would come up through the concrete, and that's what you're smelling. So if you're ever taking out the flooring in an old property, seal the slab. And there are special paints that you can use to do that. It's as easy as rolling it on. Seal underneath before you put your new flooring on top, and that will keep that smell at bay.
Another thing to keep in mind though too is certain smells, like we were saying with water leakage, there could be mold and issues in the walls. So sometimes it's nice to have a professional come in to do a proper inspection of the home to make sure you know if some of the smell issues are just surface or if they're hidden and could be a bigger problem. You don't want health issues with your family because you're living in a house that might have mold spores in the air.
What's the smartest way to plan and use my budget for every phase of renovation?
My thing I would say is don't just do the kitchen and then you wait and you save a little bit and then you do the bathroom and then you wait, you save a little bit. If you can try to pull together your budget or finance yourself in a way where you can do everything at one time, it's best to do it because then you're gonna save on your trades because they're not coming back multiple times and recharging you. They can bundle their packages with you a little bit.
Also think of the expenses that you have to lay out for. So for example, kitchens are very expensive because you have lots of appliances and stone and fixtures and things like that. Well, if you know you're doing a full renovation, start shopping now. Don't wait till the last minute when you need to have the fixture and you need to have the appliances because all the retailers have big sales at least every other month. So if it's a year-long renovation or a 2-year-long renovation, start shopping now and make sure from your contractor you know exactly what you need so you don't buy something that you ultimately don't use. So that's a good way to find deals on things. The other thing to consider as well when you are renovating, make sure you have a contingency. That's probably my #1 advice for people. Have a contingency of no less than 10%.
So you can party or get that big screen TV.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what people always think. They're like, oh yeah, my contingency is for a big screen TV. No, it's because every project has hidden problems. You want to make sure you have money set aside so you're not financially devastated if something happens.
This is something that's a little annoying right now. There are tariffs that are increasing the pricing of certain products in the home. But there are also a lot of trades and contractors that are jacking their prices way up. Oh, it's because of the tariffs. No, they just found an excuse to be able to jack their prices up. So you need to be well aware of what the cost should be. Do your research, have an understanding of the base costs, and make sure that you're working with somebody who can help you understand what the labor cost should be as well. I think because you're here right now with us, it means you're the right sort of person who's thinking ahead, you're planning ahead, and you're gonna have an amazing project.
I hope you are now ready to buy your home. And if you have more questions, you know where to find us.
I didn't want to leave. Are they kicking us out?
They are.
Oh, I drew something for you guys. My little gift. I am the bearded stick man.
Don't encourage him.
Okay, yeah. You're welcome. This is worth a lot of money.